What's going on, YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It is August 15th, 2022. It's 7:34. I hope everyone had a good weekend. 7:34 a.m. I know I said I was going to do a video about the Brooklyn McDonald's shooting. I did, but I didn't like how it came out, and I figure you guys had enough commentary. That lady's a bonehead. But I wanted to jump on this morning and talk about Brittney Griner and the situation with Russia. Let me start out by saying I'm not a basketball fan. I never really was. Basketball never did it for me. But I respect the athletes and people who like basketball. It's a free country. Like what you want. But Brittney Griner, I have an axe to grind with her, pun intended. Because for me, as a 1980 baby and a very patriotic person, she embodies what's wrong with a lot of black Americans, ADOS, foundational blacks, whatever you people call yourselves these days. I prefer the term Negro. But she embodies what's wrong with a lot of blacks in this country right now. Especially you ones under 30, because 32. She's 32. She was born in 1990. I have a sister born in that year. Brittney Griner nailed to the flag. She's been on camera saying how she wouldn't play in the great state of Indiana. All our states are great for different reasons. And now that she was such an idiot, she went into Russia with hash oil or cannabis oil, talking about an honest mistake, lying through her teeth. Now she's learning to appreciate the states. And that goes for a lot of younger black Americans. I've had it with you niggas and kneeling to our flag and not wanting to pledge allegiance and all this tomfoolery just so you can go viral online. Now, Brittney's sitting over there in Russia. The president we currently have, I don't think he's going to be getting her out of this. Because, number one, he doesn't really care, because y'all always talked about Trump being racist. Listen here, Biden's on the books racist. Biden has sent so many black people to jail behind crack cocaine in the last 40 years in my lifetime. He should get an award for it. He'd be first at something for a change. Now, his son can post his crack stash and his hooker. That's just fine. He's not going to jail. But as Biden said in the mid-80s, if you have a piece of crack that big, it's a mandatory sentence and all that stuff. So Brittney, I think you're on your own. And you should be on your own. Because, my dad was a big football fan, a fanatic actually. He was a Raiders fan. And if you know anything about football and fans, Raiders fans, especially Oakland Raiders fans, they're fanatics. So I understand why Colin Kaepernick kneeled at the flag, and I didn't agree with it then, and I don't agree with it now. There's two reasons. The first reason is he can't really play. If he could really play, his mind be on the game and his fans and his team, and not disappointing them like star athletes do and backup athletes that really play. He got that stupid movement going because he needed attention. And he couldn't get on Sports Illustrated through his own merit. He had to come up with some fucking scam. And it just shows you how big of followers black people are. So a lot of you niggas started kneeling too and not wanting to recite the pledge and all this other shit. Let me tell you something. We are descendants of American slaves, and I'm proud to be. And I love this country. Without that part of history, America, the United States, aren't the United States. The same brothers, and in Brittney's case, these sisters, quote unquote, kneeling, you wouldn't have the opportunity to play in the NBA or the NFL or whatever your pleasure if it wasn't for this country, making millions of dollars, making obscene money. And in Brittney's case, you wouldn't have the opportunity to play basketball around the world without this country. How dare you kneel to our flag? Then, in Colin's case also, and this is no shot at mixed people, but the truth is the truth. I went to school with mixed kids before. And mixed kids have a tendency, when they're black and white mixed, to overcompensate. They got to show how black they are. because they never really, I always got the impression they're never really truly accepted by either side of the family. So they'll sway to the black side because black people have crazy obsessions with hair and skin and asinine things that don't count in the grand scheme of things. So he has to overcompensate. Now he can't play football, and he's not really, he's I can't think of the word, but he doesn't really have substance. He has to sway one way to the other. That's why he knelt at that flag. And for all you people that followed him, you're fools. In my 42 years of living, this country is on its almost last leg. We're living in a time where you can't go into the grocery store and buy certain things because they're not on the shelves. That's never happened in America. Never. I'm concerned about that. You're at a time in this country, even the 80s, the violence and things going on from coast to coast is making the 80s look like a field day. And you guys kneel to our flag. Now, Brittney Griner, she over there about to do that 9-year bid. I think she should do every second of it. Every second of it. And she's sitting here begging and pleading to come back to the United States for what? You hate this country. I've said to Negroes like Brittney, hey, why don't you buy a ticket? You can go anywhere you want to in the world. Why are you here talking about how bad this country is? See, this is what leads to, I saw another short over the weekend with some immigrant he looked like he was from Turkey or Georgia or one of those countries in that sector of the world, and he's saying how American people are lazy and he lives like a king here, and in his country you couldn't make the money you could here and all this other stuff. This is why people like that come over here and spit on our flag, because our American citizens, our own homegrown people spit on our flag. And I have a really big problem with that. I don't care what ethnicity it is. You should pledge to this flag and never take a knee to it, because this is our country. When you take that knee, when people like Brittney, black people like Brittney take that knee, I think of my grandfathers who fought for you to have the right to take a knee to our flag. It's like you're putting a knee on their necks. I think of my father who served in the military and all the military men and women through the generations that served in this country so you can have the right to kneel to our flag. And that's just the Negro soldiers. And some things are black and white, but some things are about young and old, and some things are American issues. You're kneeling on the neck of every fucking veteran and active service member we got when you kneel to that flag. And it's not right and it's not fair. Because the military to the side, I'm proud to be from a country, and I told you guys I always keep it entertainment because it's easy to relate. I'm proud to be from a country that gave us Diana Ross and the Supremes. Shout out to Mr. Dozer, who just died, who wrote all those hits for Motown. This country gave us him. This country gave us Patti LaBelle, Tina Turner, Ike Turner, all these great black people in entertainment that changed the world. And you guys have the fucking nerve to kneel to our flag? And I knew it was going to be bad about 15, 20 years ago when they were talking about taking the word God out of the pledge. If you don't like saying the word God in the pledge, go somewhere else. This country, whether you agree with it, don't, you have the freedom of religion, but this country was founded on Christian beliefs. So the word God is going to be in the fucking Pledge of Allegiance. If they even make the kids pledge anymore, because late Xers and millennials have become such weenies. They don't appreciate what this country's given them. They only talk about the negatives in the country, and some of the negatives they talk about are made up. It's in their fucking heads. I don't even know if the little kids have to pledge the flags anymore because their parents are momos. But as I said, I'm not going to take a lot of time talking about Brittney, but Russia, y'all can go ahead and keep her over there. Because before I go, a lot of you younger Americans, instead of worrying about Kim Kardashian messing up a runway, you should know the last 40, 50 years at least of American history, and you would know. Number one, we're at war with Russia now, or almost, damn near. But we just had a Cold War with Russia about 35 years ago, few years before Brittney was born. Don't believe me? Go watch Rocky 2. That whole movie between Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone's about the states versus the USSR as it used to be named. It's probably not the brightest thing to go to Russia to play basketball, but if you're going to go to Russia and play basketball, get your drugs after you get off the plane, you idiot. Russia, you can keep that one. And you guys know I'm negative. I'm a hater. And yes, today I'm hating on Miss Brittney Griner, or whatever her name is. You need to go ahead and take that bid because you wouldn't play in Indiana and you want to kneel to the flag. So you can go stay in that Russian hellhole. You deserve every second. And on that note, guys, I'm out of here.